Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I have my monthly favorites with 2 fails. I also will have all of the shoppable links in the description box below. Just click more when you see all of the information. And then I also have everything over on the LTK app. And again, my page over there is just simply Sarissa. So let's get started with the first favorite of the month. That is the t-shirt that I'm wearing. It is a scoop neck shorter length t-shirt. I will back up and show you, but I can do a front tuck, and I am wearing regular jeans with a belt, but just to untuck it, it fits perfectly. It is a cotton and modal mix. Love these tops. They come in 4 different color options. And of course I purchased the white, but I also purchased the black as well because I was trying to kind of replenish some of my staples, especially for summer. We live in boiling hot temperatures in the summertime. So this is so thin, but as you can tell, it's not see-through. I am wearing a nude colored bra underneath it. The trick to this is though, it's so cute because it has that muscle tee kind of cut off vibe, but look at the underarms. They have like an extra slit, like flap, just sort of sewn in so that you don't show too much here and you're not really having to worry about what bra you're wearing. So I love this because it's like a tank top without being a tank top. And you can obviously dress it up or down. Right now they're on sale for something about $27 at White House Black Market. Absolutely love this. I've been wearing them nonstop, and I did get a size small in both of the sizes. Next monthly favorite is a doozy. This is the Dyson Airstrait. I firmly believe, and I say it all the time, never pay full price for anything, especially for pricey items, and always purchase from someplace that you can return it if it doesn't work out. I had a ton of Ulta points saved up, so I just I basically picked my price. It was on sale. It was something like $100 off. And then what I did was I used a bunch of my points. So I paid somewhere around $120 for it, I think. And that was reasonable to me. Why do I love this thing? All right. It has a couple of different features. So looking close up, it has the power button, and then it has like a hotter and colder, I believe, button, a fan button, and then it has this dry and wet button, which is really kind of cool because you can work with your hair when it's wet or when it's dry. And so I have used this for both. I actually really tested it. I took it with me on a like 3-day trip to the coast, and my hair normally just goes when I'm at the coast. Like immediately it looks crazy. I just have to wear a hat the whole time. And this kept my hair straight. I couldn't believe it. It didn't do much fluffing at all. And then the few times that like a couple of pieces got unruly, I just plugged it back in and went over those pieces, like maybe to go have dinner, and it was amazing. And I didn't feel like I was crisping up my hair. I also need to let you know that if you're going to use it as like a blow dryer, you basically have to use this part and you snap it shut. So when you snap it shut, you just blow dry the roots, and that's important because when you are using this as a straightener, you are not going to necessarily get exactly to the root because of where the air blows. So you do want to like blow dry your hair a little bit, like a rough dry, before you start straightening it. I love this. I have another family member that has much longer, curlier hair than me that uses this all the time and loves it too as a straightener. Your hair doesn't look dry when you're done. And then what I've noticed is I can actually keep my straighter hairstyle for 2 or 3 days instead of it just looking really bad and having to put dry shampoo in right after. Would not pay full price for it at all, but for the price point that I did pay, it's totally worth it. It does have a few things though. It does come with this, which is like a rubber silicone mat, and I do suggest that you take it with you just to kind of keep it nice. It doesn't really get super hot. It has 3 heat temperatures, but they're all fairly low. And it is kind of heavy though. So if you are working with wrist problems, carpal tunnel, anything like that, you might want to reconsider or think about it. Look at how much it actually weighs because it's not the absolute lightest. And this part is kind of a pain. It has an extremely long cord, but this I don't know what it is. I guess it would be something like a protector, surge protector or something. It's so heavy and clunky that you have to like really strategically place it on your countertop. Otherwise it's gonna like hang down on the floor. It can hit the floor, it can, but then you have to be careful where you plug it in. So, you know, you have to kind of work with that. But overall, I love the finished product of it. And just last note, if you look at my hair currently, this is air dried from this morning. So I air dried it with a little bit of product and then I hit it with like a little wand just on the pieces that are unruly. So I love doing that with my hair, especially in the summertime. But the next day, it kind of looks really mousy and gross. So I can actually go in the next day with this on the dry setting. And when I go through, I have perfectly straight hair that doesn't look over dry, doesn't look done. It just works. And so that in itself really helps me too, because I can switch from a curly hairstyle to a straight hairstyle without having to wash and blow dry my hair. So pretty good. I'm loving this. I obviously plan on keeping it and I do recommend it, but I would suggest watching a few YouTube videos on it before you make your purchase. This is the Equate Moisture Care Cocoa Divine Body Oil Gel. Could the name be any longer? So obviously Equate is the brand, it's the house brand for Walmart. It's been their house brand, I think, from the beginning of time. It is 6.8 fluid ounces and it is not very expensive. I'm talking like $6 or under. I don't know the exact amount, but I'll have it all in the information below. What this is it's supposed to be, it says to compare it to Vaseline's Cocoa Radiant Vitalizing Body Oil Gel. So obviously, you know how it is. The house brand tries to kind of come up with the more expensive or name brand. Well, I love this stuff and I have to give credit where credit is due. Emily Noel talked about this. I absolutely love her. She does a lot of makeup looks and she also has like some great affordable finds. She was talking about this, so I added it to cart and I'm glad I did. I can use this straight on like my body, my arms, legs, etc. Or sometimes if I'm using a lotion that just isn't quite doing the job, but I want to use that lotion up, I actually mix this with it. Now you do have to be careful if you're using scented things because this does have a scent. This has a, like that, just that soft kind of vanilla slash cocoa butter scent. And so it is one of those like warmer, what is it, like a gourmand kind of a scent. I personally love it. I think it's great. And I love that smell both in winter and in summer because I feel like in summer it reminds me of like the beach, but in wintertime it's very warm and inviting and it plays well with like fall scents. So absolutely love this stuff. And I'll just put a little bit on my arm to show you guys. It is like I love that it's like a gel oil because it's not quite as slippery as a regular oil and it doesn't just like pour on the ground. So you can see it right here. So it, you know, it is got a little bit of viscosity, but nothing like a regular oil. And then when you mix it on your skin, it just leaves the softest, prettiest kind of oily sheen that is going to stay there. I'm not going to say it's overly sticky, but just, you know, you have to know that it is going to have a little bit of a like oily feel to it, but it does rub in pretty well and it leaves like your skin so like shiny and nice and it's so good with a tan. Another absolute favorite is this Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask, but in watermelon. This is $24 for 0.7 ounces. However, this mask has the best overall feel on my lips and I love what it does. I actually like to use this not only at night when I'm going to bed, but also in the morning when I get up or after I take a shower. I like to put that on as I'm putting on my morning skincare routine. It's gorgeous. And in this watermelon scent, which is super nostalgic, it just reminds me so much of the watermelon little tins of the lip glosses that we used to get back in the 80s, those little gold tins. Literally smells just like that and it actually looks just like that as well. This to me was a little bit of an impulse buy because of how nostalgic it was, but I love it. And I love that the color is actually a little bit brighter and richer than the one that I normally use, which is berry, because when I do put this on, I feel like I can go out the door and my lips don't look like, you know, really dry and with no color, no life. This actually adds a little bit of life to it. and I just can't beat it. And I love, look at it's just red and green. Oh, it's so cute. This month's food favorite is actually a little bit more of a recipe than it is an actual like food item, but I did bring this in just because this is how I modified it to be edible for me. So basically what I did was I watched some YouTube short on this spaghetti I'm gonna blow this, aglio e olio, which basically is a spaghetti that is sauteed with olive oil and garlic, and of course a few other ingredients. It is the simplest, best comfort food I think that I have eaten in a very, very long time. And when I made it for dinner, we also grilled some chicken on the side that was well seasoned, and it was just perfection. It was just one of those ultimate comfort meals, and my family was like, this needs to go on the rotation of like meal planning and meal prepping that we do. So I just loved it. So what I did though is, of course, I still am trying to do gluten-free. We do have somebody that's celiac in the house as well. So I just in a hurry grabbed the Barilla gluten-free pasta. This is corn-based, so you know, health-wise, I don't know that it's the greatest, but if you have to have gluten-free, this actually worked beautifully last night. And I am going to actually just link one of the recipes. I think the one that I used last night, I will link that in the description box below as well. I'm telling you, if you love garlic and pasta, it's like a grown-up version of mac and cheese is the best way I can explain it to you. It's that comforting that you can just eat a bowl full of it by itself, or of course add protein or sliced vegetables or whatever into it. But we are definitely digging it, and this really helped out. I have two fails. I think that these are sometimes more important than the favorites because it tells you what not to waste your money on. First up, no surprise here if you've been following me, is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Push-Up Lashes. Super, super disappointing. The only thing good about this is the packaging, basically, is what I have come to realize. Packaging is incredible. This stuff's very expensive. You can only purchase it where Charlotte Tilbury is sold. I honestly don't know why this is even on the market still. I'm just going to be that blunt. It does have a very weird wand. It's got that flat side and then the bristle side. So once you figure out and study up and decide, you know, that you figured out how to get this stuff on your lashes, it looks pretty. However, within the hour, generally hour to 2 hours, you will look at your face, for the most part, not for everybody, but this is me. I had everything everywhere. I mean, it was probably the worst smudging I've ever seen with a mascara in everything I've ever tried. And I tried it multiple different ways to make sure, because I do have deep set eyes, hooded lids, oily eyelids. I mean, I've got it all at times. So I do all the tricks to try to rescue my mascaras if I need to. And I did them all. And I tried it with nothing. I tried it with powder. I tried it with primers. I mean, you name it. Nothing could get this from just transferring everywhere, top and bottom. So it would smudge really bad and I looked like I had black eyes, and then it would have just marks everywhere. So I would really, really read the reviews, but I mean, if you're bent on buying this, I don't know what to tell you, but you know, it just did not work for me. Next fail is kind of random, but again, this is something that I think we all try to do at home most of the time. We all have to wash dishes and we all have to clean our sinks out. And I kind of started collecting a pile of things around my sink that I was using. And I thought, you know, there's gotta be a way to kind of minimize all of that. So I saw this at my local hardware store. It's the Scrub Daddy, I believe it's called Dish Wand. And I have never tried this Scrub Daddy products before, but I thought, well, if I'm going to try one, I might as well try this. I unfortunately paid almost $15 for this, but I think you can get it as low as like $8. But what it's supposed to be is one of those like refillable, if you can see, I put my Dawn dish soap, refillable dish wands, and it has this little doodad that you just sort of like, you can push on that if you want more soap to come out. It has a layer of like the traditional Scrub Daddy sponge, then a softer sponge, and then it has a scraper. So I thought, oh, cool. I can, you know, scrub my dishes. It's long enough to put inside certain things. And then it also has the scraper if I need to get tough stuff off. So I didn't exactly understand this process right here until I tried to use it. So I filled it up, started scrubbing, and then when I went to set it on the counter, it immediately started pouring water out. So it doesn't, like, the sponge doesn't maintain a lot of water. I don't know how to say that, but it definitely doesn't soak it up and leave it there. It literally just starts pouring out. So really what this is meant for, I think, is it hits this and it's supposed to kind of funnel the water, but I didn't read that ahead of time. And so then I started trying to place it on the edge of my sink like this, so that when it dripped, it would drip into the sink and funnel into the sink. Well, that kind of works, but if anybody else grabs it and doesn't do it perfectly, it's gonna get everywhere. So then I just decided, well, I guess I'm gonna set it in my sink when I'm done, which is not my favorite. I just don't like all the bacteria and stuff inside the sink. So anyway, I was, having to do that. But what I was really frustrated about was this thing that looks well made. Twice now, and I've only had this for probably 4 days, at least twice it has unscrewed on me while I'm trying to clean, and it actually popped off completely once, which that's no good because your hands are soapy and you're just flipping and this thing could fly off and then you've got soap everywhere and it's just super wasteful. So it doesn't really stay where it's supposed to. It is heavy enough, it is sturdy enough to stand, and it does stand in the sink, but again, it just isn't that great. And this is actually pretty thick. I didn't realize how thick Scrub Daddies were. And this angle, it kind of works, but if you really need to get in there, you have to be real careful with how you're angling it, because otherwise this starts to hit and then it defeats the purpose of this. So I'm just gonna say pass on this one. If you love it and I'm doing something wrong, let me know in the comments below, but this did not solve all of my problems. I am gonna keep using it and just kind of let it go until the sponge goes bad, but it's definitely not serving the purpose that I hoped it would. So if you enjoyed this, make sure you hit like and subscribe. Again, we have everything in the description box, and follow me over on LTK, where you can just do easy shopping for any of the things I do talk about. All right, thanks again, and until next time, I'll see you soon.